Hey everybody, recently I was contacted by a mother. She was concerned because her son had been called down to the principal's office where he was questioned by the principal and another teacher concerning a fight that happened at the school. During this meeting, her son did make an admission to being involved in the fight, and he was advised by the principal that the matter was being referred to the police and he could expect to be charged for assault and battery relating to the fight. The mother was concerned for a couple of different reasons. First, she was never told this meeting was happening. She was never invited to the meeting. She didn't know her son was going to be questioned. Second, her son was never read his Miranda rights. He was never told of his right to remain silent, whether he had a right to an attorney, or anything like that. So this obviously raised concerns for her, particularly in light of the fact that her son's going to be charged. So she reached out to us. Now, unfortunately, in this particular situation, it doesn't appear that the police were involved in investigating this particular fight or this incident, and they weren't telling the principal what to say or otherwise running the investigation. It appears that it was just the school doing their own investigation prior to getting the police involved. And I say this is unfortunate because in those circumstances, those rights don't apply. Normally, a juvenile, when he's being questioned by the police, has the same rights as an adult. They have the right to remain silent, the right to an attorney, the so-called Miranda rights. They also have further protections. Prior to being able to waive those rights, the parent's supposed to be present. The parent's supposed to have the opportunity to consult with the juvenile concerning whether or not they want to waive those rights and make any statements. However, in a situation like this, where we're just dealing with school officials acting on their own, those same rights don't apply. They're not in the same position as the police officers who would ultimately be conducting this investigation. Now, had the police been involved, so let's just say the school resource officer was investigating the fight and was telling the principal to, hey, call these kids in and question them. This is what you should be asking them. And essentially was either there, present, and actively participating in the investigation, or behind the scenes pulling the strings of the school officials as to just what to do and say, that would be different. In those circumstances, the full rights would apply, meaning that the juvenile would have had to been read his Miranda rights. He would have had to have the opportunity to consult with his mother or father or other interested adult whether or not he should waive those rights and make a statement. But in these circumstances, unfortunately, those rights aren't present because the school personnel are considered different than police in this circumstance. We did have a case a few years ago where it seemed like the school personnel were running the investigation, but we learned through a little further digging that in fact the police were behind the scenes. They were sort of pulling the strings like a marionette of the school principal and getting him to do the investigation for them. When this came out, we were able to show that there was police involvement and the full rights do apply. And in that case, the judge ended up suppressing or keeping that statement out of evidence that the juvenile had made. So if you have any questions about the rights your children have when it comes to dealing with the police or the courts or the schools, please feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, or leave me a comment below the video. I'll be happy to speak with you about it.